Sometimes we blame Satan for everything, when his only authority is temptation. We are our own greatest enemy. Fact of the matter is, if we really re-evaluated our lives and took an inventory of those that are surrounding our lives, those that are involved in our lives, those that are involved in our walk, our daily walk with Christ, we would be able to pluck out the things that are causing us to stumble. We would be able to see more clearly the things that are standing in the way of our relationship with God, our walk with Jesus. Revelation chapter 3:20 says, "I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me." You see, it's very important that we reevaluate the friendships that we have in our lives and the people that we have in our midst, those that we take counsel from even. Because if we insist on surrounding ourselves with negative people, it's very difficult for the Holy Spirit to move within our lives. We need to be able to hear clearly from God. But when we surround ourselves with those that are toxic people, those that are taking up our time mentally, physically, and spiritually, we cannot hear from God, and we cannot hear clearly what He needs us to know. You see, toxic people, those who spread negativity, those who criticize, those who simply waste your time, those who play victim, those who don't care, or who are self-centered, those who keep disappointing you, etc., etc., the list goes on. These are people that drain you spiritually. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Come back to your senses as you ought, and stop sinning, for there are some who are ignorant of God. I say this to your shame." Simply put, bad character, bad company needs to go. When we have these things filling up our lives and filling up our time, it is time to say enough is enough. Matthew chapter 5 says, "If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. For it is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell." Some of the friendships or relationships that you are dealing with right now could be leading you on the path to hell. We need to be aware of these things. T. Brooker simply put, "Associate yourself with people of good quality, for it is better to be alone than in bad company." One of the things we need to accept is that the more closer you walk with God, the more lonelier it does become. Because as you get closer to God, as you abide in His Word even more, as you allow the Holy Spirit to fill you up, you realize that you become less and less like the world. Less of you and more of Christ. If you must grow in the things of God, make the decision to always separate yourself from ungodly talk or ungodly behavior. Never be a participant because you value God and His work in your life. It's so important that we check these things, an inventory, if you will. People either inspire you or they drain you, so we need to pick them wisely. You cannot hang out with negative people and expect to live a positive life. Brothers and sisters, we need to do a clear out. Allow God to clear out the clutter. In the first video, I spoke about how sometimes God will cause a situation to happen in order for the clutter to be cleared out of your life. In this video, I've clearly covered some of the steps that you need to take and the ways in which you need to be standing in order to take those steps. God will help you only so far, but the rest has to be down to you. God can cause situations to happen to remove toxic people out of your life, especially when you're not aware of it. But once you become aware of it, don't keep going back to a place that God has delivered you from. Don't keep going back to those friendships that God has clearly told you to stay away from. I pray that this video encourages you, and I pray that this video gives you food for thought. And remember, Jesus is the light of this world. God bless you.
It says this: our God is awesome. He can move mountains. Keep me in the valley